the city's past, present, and future collide all in one square mile of unstoppable motion. Oshodi isn't just a place on the map, it is a testament to the Nigerian will to thrive no matter the odds. Welcome to Oshodi, the hustle capital of Lagos.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
The buzz from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth, the issues. On Voice of the People Television, don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Bamakore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
All right, hello, it's a boy that's shaking the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know why you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weight.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers boy ever live. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Ginny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
From the views on the street
We go to bed empty hunger.
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lawn.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents,
Corruption kills three things and makes a society.
representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Fresh ideas and conversations, shaping the future of learning in Nigeria and beyond.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed.
Hello there and welcome to the program. It's another beautiful, wonderful Tuesday afternoon. So let's get started. But of course, I know that so much is happening in this country now that we've been getting, different, news stories, and I know everybody will be asking, what are we to discuss today? But of course, we have lots of conversations to discuss, on the show. Welcome to People's Voice on Unity, where students are shaping the narrative. And of course, today we're dissecting a major story that is dominating the headline and sparking conversation across the nation. Yesterday, the president hosted about 20 governors and 2 deputy governors, at State House, where they all broke fast. And while he was making his speech, there was something that actually caught the attention of Nigerians, where he said, "We are out of the woods. The economy is improving." And when everyone actually heard that statement, Nigerians started, murmuring that since last night, and of course this morning, it became, a very serious conversation. And so many people were asking, which of the economy are we talking about? Are we really out of the woods, or we are even getting deeper into, the woods? And of course, he also mentioned that there's lights, or we are even out of that particular dark tunnel. But we don't know the lens our president is actually talking from. Maybe there's a new lens, or maybe there's something new that they are seeing that we've not seen yet. Of course, so many experts also said that economic reforms takes time. But this is more than a year now, and Nigerians are impatient already because of what is going on in the country. So I think you should be set for us to dissect this conversation together. Join the conversation with experts in sciences and perspectives. Share your thoughts with us. I am Savior Udo. Let's look into other news stories with details. IG Egbetokun removed Tunji Disu to take over. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has instructed Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun to resign effectively immediately. Egbetokun is set to be replaced by Assistant Inspector General of Police Tunji Disu, currently in charge of Force CID Annex Lagos. Egbetokun, appointed as the 22nd indigenous IGP in June 2023, was due to retire in September 2024, but had his tenure extended to 4 years via a National Assembly amendment. His removal follows controversies and criticism over police operations and, of course, human rights concerns. I think Showore would be celebrating where he is presently. And some people actually saw a video making rounds on social media where Showore actually said that before 1 p.m., I think he used that word, said before 1 p.m. or by 1 p.m., that we'll get an announcement that the IG, would be removed. And that was what happened today. But let's wait to hear, more developing stories as regards to what really transpired, between the presidency and the IG. And away from that particular one, Tinubu governors meet NLC leaders in crucial talks. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and governors from the Progressive Governors Forum are meeting with Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, leaders at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. In a bid to deepen dialogue and address economic concerns, the summit aims to foster governance, dialogue, stakeholder collaboration, and inclusive participation in national development initiatives. The NLC is expected to present its charter of demands, including wage increases, job protection, and creation of just transition fund. Labour sources say the meeting could be pivotal in resetting labor government relations amid the economic pressures. The meeting's outcome may determine if negotiation replaces street protest as the main channel of labor influence, especially with the 2027 election looming. Are we about to see another alliance between the NLC and the federal government? And my question, why is it that it was only, the progressive governors, that were in the meeting? It's just a question. I was thinking that it should be open, all governors in this country should have actually attended this meeting instead of, but we would hear, more conversation as regards to that in the coming days. We just hope that this is not another, way of campaigning to the Labour, because Labour, the NLC has their Labour Party, and I believe they understand what that means. Let's come back to the senator of Edo State, Oshomole. He said, Wike stood by me when I was politically isolated. Former Edo State Governor Adams Oshomole has praised Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, for standing by him during a removal as APC National Chairman. Oshomole has revealed that he was actually hanging over a different situation when he was isolated, and of course so many people left him. But Wike made a call through to him and of course checking in on him. And while handing over construction equipment to Edo State local government, as saying Wike reached out when everyone abandoned him. And Wike is the first person from the South-South geopolitical zone to refine and redefine development in Abuja. Oshomole stated, commending Wike's leadership and performance in the recent FCT local government elections. It looks like Wike is the celebrated bride in Nigeria now, because I saw this particular video yesterday when he landed, with his private jet, of course, in Edo State, and it was, it was the governor of Edo State and Oshomole. It was a full entourage of chief of staff, at the SSG. They were at the airport, even I think in 15 minutes or 30 minutes before Wike, landed yesterday. And I was like, really? Is it Wike that they are giving this heroic welcome party and all of that? But it was, it was really nice. And of course, they got a particular hype man. They got a particular hype man because the guy was just shouting, the man that silenced Atiku, the man that silenced Obi, the man that silenced Erufai, praising Wike while he was actually, onboarding from, the aircraft. And it was quite a very funny scenario yesterday. But if this is what Wike, is getting these days, I think he has actually worked for it. A man who actually holds two political structures and no one is questioning him. No one is even saying that this is anti-party, but what can we say? We are just here to read their situations. Away from that particular one, let's talk about another situation that is bothering the nation. Obi urges smarter borrowing to boost Nigeria's productivity. Former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi says Nigeria's growing debt isn't the problem, but how funds are used. Nigeria is world's third largest debtor with $18.7 billion obligation behind Bangladesh, who happens to be $23 billion. Obi notes that Bangladesh invested, borrowed funds in manufacturing, energy, and human capital, boosting GDP to $460 to $500 billion and per capita income to $2,700. In contrast, Nigeria's GDP fell to below $250 billion, with per capita income dropping to $850 to $1,000. A new Nigeria where loans translate into productivity instead of consumption is very much possible, to be said. And of course, I also saw in the news where the Debt Management Office, also gave a report that the state government debt has actually, been total to 4.002 trillion as we speak, as of today, And our question is it when the federal government has been releasing even more money to state, government, is this the time that our governors should be taking more loans? Because if we need to ask them the question, what have they been doing with the funds that are coming in from the federal government? The president has actually increased what they've been getting. And aside from that, the loans they've been taking, what have they been doing with it? These are questions. So it's not every time we actually, mention the president, or we say the presidency or the federal government. Let's also talk about the state governors. They've been getting more this time around, But of course, my analysts would actually, respond to all of this particular one. 2027 polls, vote buying, violence threats to electoral legitimacy, says the National Peace Committee. They've actually raised a concern over vote buying, violence, and insecurity threatening the legitimacy of Ekiti State's gubernatorial election on June 20, 2026. The NPC's stakeholders validation forum in Ado-Ekiti aims to strengthen peaceful electoral processes and prevent violence. Erosom Ajanya, a senior program manager of the Kota Center, said the forum will assess security dynamics and generate recommendations to prevent election-related violence. The NPC is monitoring the electoral environment and, of course, are developing a context analysis to guide stakeholders' engagement. We just hope that everything will be put in place. Yesterday we had the deputy publicity person from the INEC who actually came to say so much about our electioneering process in Nigeria, and he said, which we can't forget, he said INEC can only do 40% of all of these. 60% is being shared amongst, the security agency, the political parties, and of course the people. So we have so many people who, who have their own share of what they really want to do when it comes to, the polls. So if INEC could do their bid, they can't do everything. Okay, so at the end of the day, you still realize that Nigerians are also still Nigerians a problem. To join the conversation, kindly call the number 09044732605. 09044732605. Follow us on social media at VOBTV Live. You can use the hashtag People's Voice on VOBTV, and of course on YouTube with Voice of People TV. Kindly hit the subscribe button, and together we can make our voices heard. It is time for us to go on a quick break. As soon as we return, we'll be taking this conversation by the president. We're out of the woods. The economy is improving, says the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Don't go nowhere, please. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the program. It is still People's Voice on Voice of People Television. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on governors to prioritize policy benefiting the poor and underprivileged, emphasizing compassion and inclusive development. He made the appeal at an interfaith fast-breaking event at the presidential villa, highlighting the shared humanity underscored by the concurrent Ramadan and Lent observance. Tinubu also announced plans to establish state police to tackle insecurity, saying security is the foundation of prosperity. He stated that Nigeria is making progress, saying we're out of the woods, out of the dark tunnel of uncertainty. The economy is improving. He urged governors to support the less privileged and empower young people, adding development must not recognize religion, compassion must not recognize tribe, opportunity must not recognize status. These are the words of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, joining me live in the studio, I have Mr. Ekundayo Lawa, a social and political analyst. You're welcome on board, sir.
Thank you. Good evening.
Mr. Lawa, how have you been? You heard all of the news stories, and I know that you want to respond to them. Yeah. So which one are you starting with first?
Let me see the NLC.
Okay, that of the NSC. All right.
Yeah, maybe they are about to finally decamp the APC. Maybe that's why they have it. They had that meeting with the president. So they will now declare officially now that they have now officially declared. I mean, decamped.
Decamp. But is it possible
to APC? That's what. Is that what you are seeing,
Mr. Lawa? Is it possible?
Maybe it's not Nigerian Labour Commission. They will change it from Nigerian Labour Congress to because they have no Congress. Who among the working class will actually say anything good about the present day NLC? Do you see anybody coming on board to say, no, this NLC represents us? They don't even have any, the only thing that connects them to NLC is just what the name says, and they are deducting some money from their salary.
So are you saying the NLC has not been, will I say, representing the people, or of course, workers well?
They've not been represented at all, not well at all.
How do you mean? I would like you to give clarity on
How
that.
can the people you represent are suffering and you are dining with the people who are oppressing them?
But if they are called for meeting, do you want them to actually decline? When they said that they've actually stated reasons for the meeting, as regards to them.
How many times have they gone for meeting with the executive? How many times? Is it the first time that it yielded no result?
But it shouldn't also be the last. You understand? If they are called for meeting, for them to come and have meeting because of the workers, because of their members, I think it is not bad for them to actually attend that meeting.
When your members have no confidence in your meetings, who do you represent? Is it yourself or your members?
But there should have been something that would have made the members not, recognize their position or the service the leadership of the NLC are doing. And I would like you to give clarity on that, if at all you have any reasons, because members cannot just wake up overnight to say that we don't recognize or we don't respect whatsoever decision you think you're making, on our behalf, or whatsoever meeting you're going to do, you are actually doing it for your pocket. Members should have actually, come out, or if at all they are already saying it, but they should give, grounds. They should give evidential, reasons why they are not in support of what their leaderships are doing.
Now, if a leader or if the leadership wants to go for something like a meeting, I expected them to have put it into the domain, the public domain of their members, so that the members can respond whether they should go ahead or they should not go ahead. This NLC doesn't speak to their people. They don't talk to the people because you put it on their domain. They will respond. They will respond and say, okay, don't go. But they don't do that. The only thing the people, the members they represent here is that they're having a meeting with the president. They're having a meeting with the executive. And people are tired of that. Because when you say Nigerian Labour Congress, which part of the labor in Nigeria do you represent? Is it the private sector? Is it the public sector? Is it everybody? Then which domain did they put it in which people responded to say, okay, we have confidence in your leadership, but we don't have, you can go ahead with this meeting, you can, because we've been having a series of this meeting and it has not been yielding any result. Because when you protect your members, you protect their welfare, their jobs, but we don't see that. Do you see how they protect the welfare? Do you see how they protect? Okay, let's talk about the salary they are collecting. Is it that same salary that all of them are collecting over the whole state plus the private? There are so many graduates who are working, who are labor in this country and are earning below 50,000, below 40,000 per month.
Mr. Lawal, you know that if there is no meeting, there won't be solution. And you would agree with me that the NLC, as of course the leadership, have actually been attending several meetings, and through that meeting, we've been seeing several results.
Give me one example of the results.
Of course, they said, let's talk about the minimum wage.
Why is it that the problem we have is that minimum wage? Let me look at this. Look at the trend. In 1960s, Nigerian money was greater than the dollar.
The dollar, yes.
So let me say, as of that time,
it was equivalent to the pounds.
Yes, equivalent. If the minimum wage of that time is maybe $1, that means Nigeria's minimum wage will be greater than that of the one in America.
Yes.
Now look at it now. The minimum wage in America is around, I think, $2,000. I think. Now, if you calculate that, you translate it to naira now, you see that there's a very, very wide margin. The one in America is so far, the one in Europe is so far away from our own. But when it comes to spending, the government will be comparing, that is, when it comes to their own, what they want to take, that's the government they'll be comparing us with America. But when it comes Europe, Western world, but when it comes to giving to the people, they'll be telling us to endure, to wait. Development doesn't come at once. But their salaries are increasing. The governor's allocations have increased. The reps allocation, all of them across board, up to the local government, have increased across board. But when it comes to the labor, you'll be hearing you have to endure. You have to endure. So then tell me, how do they represent these same people? Have you called out the leadership of the executive that no, you are not being fair? Your own salaries have increased as regularly. You are getting more benefits. You are being given cars. But how many have been given to the civil servants? I mean the labor. Let me even say how many across board? If you look at the police, that's why sometimes when you blame police for what they do on the street, that you see there's so many illegalities that they do. But also look at the way they are treated.
But that shouldn't be a yardstick.
It's true. You know why? Because there's a proverb that says if you can't beat them, you join them. That's what some of them are doing. At least if there's nobody to fight for us, then me too, I'll use whatever I have to get what I want. It's happening in the judiciary. Have you been to court? Have you been to court? Go and see if you want to take a bail of somebody. You see the demand that the registrars and every other person will demand from you, or else they will not. That will not be signed.
That was the same thing I said sometime last week. I said, Mr. Lawal, you go to, they said police is your friend, of course, which that particular statement is quite controversial enough. Now, when you get to the station, they say bail is free. Have you ever seen any case at all in any division, in any state command, in any area command, that they actually, you want to release someone from any police station and the person is allowed to go without not paying.
In fact, if they will release that person to you eventually without collecting that money for bail, you must be, very connected. You must be very, very strong.
Guess what, Mr. Lawal? No matter how strong and connected you are,
eventually drop something.
You must drop something.
And if it is as little as they will collect something,
you must drop something.
Money for biro. They will ask money for biro. Or maybe money for paper. Yes, full sheet. They will.
Now, if at all they drove your car into that compound, you have to pay for the parking that you park in that station. Mr. Lawal,
I know now. I go to station very well, I know what's it. And another thing is that it's even worse when it comes to the judiciary, the court, to get a bail. In fact, the moment a very tiny case in which the judge will just look at it and say, it will just resolve that case immediately. They will say, no, remand that person in detention. By that time, start processing bail. But that's when they will now find a way to get you. You see, so it cut across. If you go to local government or the states, you want something done. It's not about the local government or the state secretariat. You want to get something done. There's a lot of extortions. Even this last
don't let us call people out.
So look at tell me how the Nigerian Labour Congress is protecting the workers.
But my question now, Mr. Lawal, are you saying that the leadership of the NLC should be changed?
Long time ago, because this is the first time in the history of Labour that the chairman has been humiliated. You remember the time he was, assaulted physically, I think in one eastern state.
Yeah, that's it. I think in Imo State.
Imo State.
But after then, they gave him a ticket to come to Dubai with the president. Did you see?
That's it.
Let's move from this particular conversation. All right. You also heard that the IG has been forced to resign with immediate effect.
That's why in Yoruba proverb they will say that "Passion tafi no iyale, o ń bẹ lókè àjà fún yàwó." So if you think that your husband is beating the first wife on your behalf because you are the new wife and you are very happy, beat it very well. That cane is never thrown away.
No.
It's kept. There's a day in which you yourself will move to the position of the old wife because another wife will come and then you'll be beaten again.
Mr. Lawal, don't take me to that particular position. But regardless, I was told that some people were jubilating that the IG Kayode Egbetokun, left, and some police officers as well. I don't know why. I don't know what he has done. But of course, I know that people from Showere's, Caicos are the ones jubilating more. But we're told that some police officers are also doing that. But that's not my position for me to actually decide. But all I would just say is thank you for your service. That's to the IG. He's actually done so much. I've followed him from the days where he was, behind the president now. He's been a loyal, person to the president.
Yes.
If you check
when was the fresh wife then?
When the president was even a governor, he has been there before then, and he's been there, he's been loyal. So, of course, I don't know what has actually transpired. I don't know.
Because the word immediate effect has a lot. It carries weight.
If
effect.
the president had said that, it's time for, I actually extended, through my power to extend your stay, even when you were meant to retire. We could have understood that. He said, okay, now I think officially I want to celebrate you to retire. Yeah. But when you are saying retire with immediate effect, it is well. Yeah. Let us go to the last conversation before we now come to where I know that you are waiting to actually, let loose whatever you have to say. Wike stood by me when I was politically isolated from Oshomole. And Wike looks like the latest bride now. The president also appreciated him for helping the APC to win, the Abuja council elections. And when you look at the situation, where is Wike? Is Wike a PDP member or APC member?
I was going to say that Wike is like he's a tool. I keep saying that Wike is a tool. It's a tool. Everybody picks him within that caucus, use him, and when you feel like somebody else needs,
do you think we can
add
be dumped?
It over like a spanner.
You think Wike can be dumped?
No, what I'm saying is that when you are still using a spanner,
okay,
when you are still, you can pass it to somebody else. Somebody else can say, no, I want to use this spanner. You pass it to that. So everybody will not say, that spanner was a very good spanner. I use it too. That is what is going on. By the time that spanner's mouth becomes too weak to use, it will be dumped. Because the moment you are used as a tool, just put it at the back of your mind that a time is coming which will be dumped. That's what we were saying about the IGP that just resigned. We are looking at the word removed with immediate effect. Those two words have weight.
Resign, removed with immediate effect.
Immediate effect.
No, that's immediate effect is the problem.
We are asked before he was, doing well with the president. Everybody was saying anything.
Even when he was meant to retire, the president,
extended. People said no. He went to the house and got it done. And now we are hearing with immediate effect. Come and go to your wife. Now, it's the same thing. It will come to that time. It will come to that time in which that weakest spanner will become weak. There will be a better spanner and it will be put in where it's supposed to be. It will cry because it has always been happening. Go and look at the history of the president. Go and look at the way he runs his things. In politics, to them, is they don't have a permanent friend. They only have a permanent interest. The day you are not part of that interest again, you are put away. So that is what is happening to Wike. That's why you can see Oshiomhole in APC. Wike in PDP long time ago is telling us that Oshiomhole, even when we don't even know Wike was working for APC, he said that he was the only person. That means as of that time,
he was still keeping in touch with everybody
underground, still
with every opposition party.
Putting, you see, so I don't understand.
Wike has really done so much. That was the reason why, I remember, I think 2 weeks
even
ago.
with all the flaws we saw in this election, the FCT election, I saw one in which they write 1,221.
I discussed it yesterday. I even asked the INEC. I asked the INEC deputy publicity, person. I asked him. I said I would like to, upload something for him to also see. It was somewhere in Kwali, I think, yes, where the elected, the vote, the total vote was around
I think
212 or 213.
2,000.
No, 213.
Okay, yes, 200 and something, yes.
213. That was what we saw there. But
on APC total vote was 1,212. And they now total everything together with what ADC scored, PDP scored, with that 1,000. And they came and the INEC, the officer arrived at 220.
When I asked
and somebody came out and said, yes, it was, that is the INEC chairman came up and said, and told us that yes, it was a successful. Imagine.
Okay, you know what?
Many TPEX.
He said it was a successful. The reason why I would like to say this, Mr. Lawa, if the INEC chairman had said it was a successful election, he was talking from a standpoint of security, or to an extent,
you should have clarified that.
But notwithstanding, don't forget that some coalition centers were still, collating their results, while some like AMAC had been announced, Gwagwalada had been announced, and some of them. Now, the INEC deputy publicity person that came on the show yesterday, he said something. He said he was also at one of the polling units. But the truth remains that if this particular thing we have uploaded, which he is not saying that, it's a lie, of course, he is actually seeing this and he has confirmed. He has seen the copy, and he said that this is between the party and whosoever that is in charge of that particular polling unit. No, see, it was so clear yesterday. His name is Wilfred. Yes, it was so clear, Wilfred Foga. It was so clear yesterday that he said this is the reason why they usually say that INEC cannot do everything. They can only do 40% when it comes to the polls, but 60% is being shared amongst all of us. The security.
I don't agree with you.
No, do you know? Do you know?
I agree with him totally.
I
have my reason.
Mr. Lawa, I'm not saying you should agree, but the truth remains that if someone is removed from that particular commission called INEC and the person is just a person, do you know that the person has his or her integrity, right? Either to actually do any malpractices or remain clean. So let's always understand this particular thing. The same way we say we have bad police, we have good police. If you employ people or you even get ad hoc staff to assist when it comes to election, You cannot control their integrity. If they are giving money, I'm coming, because if you are telling them that, oh, for this particular post, this election, I am giving you 50,000 from INEC, and one political person comes as party agent and tell them that I'm giving you 200,000, I'm giving you 500,000 for you to write anything. And the person, just like you told me about the NLC people, so, and the person knows what he or she is going through in the house, knowing fully what they have at home. Mr. Lawal.
Do you know why I don't agree with you? Everything you've been saying now. Do you know why?
Please go ahead.
Now, there's a law
which is
against corruption.
Of course. Good. What happened in Anambra when they were caught?
Now, that thing that person did, if you take that matter to court, do you think INEC will be free? That's the question I want to ask. All this one is this
and I will answer you now.
Because when you get to all these things we are saying, this is under maybe moral or something or what. This is the law. Did you manipulate the result or not? Because you can't tell me 1,212. You added everything together.
Can I ask you a question?
It came down.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
coming.
Okay.
Wait. It came down. See, that is why I respected when this man cried, the JAMB chairman, when the man came up, talked about that glitch and cried. So many people were against him, this and that. And I told them, I said, let me tell you something. For somebody to come on air and admit his error is one of the biggest things that you can ever have from a good leader. For him to, that means that thing was not intentional.
Mr. Lawal, you asked a question and
now I'm coming. Now, the same glitch happened to Mahmood Yakub. I never accepted.
Who is now your ambassador?
No, yes. Now this one is already plowing the same road. You get it? He's already plowing the same road. I expected him to have, the moment you decided to have come on here and say, sorry, this is our error, and we admit the error. This is the way we are going to go to rectify it. You know that this person is somebody who abhor corruption and is going to put things right. No, everybody is coming out and says 50%. Were you paid to make 50% error, or were you paid to make 10% error? No, you were paid to be perfect in your job. Nobody is paid to have an error.
Mr. Lawal, who is perfect?
No. Listen to me very well. I'm asking you a question. I said you are paid. Like this job, when you got this job, did you tell the chairman that now that you're employing me now, please expect error. You know, I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. So expect like 50% error. Do you think he will employ you?
Instead of that, you have to also state that you can work under duress.
Under duress. And you are not, somebody came up and now telling me that 50%.
But Mr. Lawal.
It shows that it's a deliberate thing. They deliberately did it. INEC deliberately did that because you would have come on here and apologized to Nigerians and said the reason why you are going to rectify it, you are going to explain why it happened, and then you are going to tell us you are going to rectify it, maybe because the way the people were trained, they were not properly trained, and that this thing will not happen again. This is the solution. You are now coming out to tell us that we are human, we need to make 50% error, we need to take 10% error. When you have been paid, it's only in Nigeria that you see a leader coming on board to tell you that I can't fix this thing in 4 years.
Okay, Mr. Lawal. When you
after it's been paid, with all the benefits plus increment,
I like to hold your thoughts. I understand that you already have this thing, with INEC, which I want you to see it from another lens. Now, this whole revelations came up, less than 24 hours. That was when we started getting some of those, footages and videos. But if you actually use the word you said that the person was meant to be prosecuted, the question I'd like to ask you, who exactly?
No, I'm not saying prosecution. I'm not.
Who is to be blamed as regards to that particular?
Is the other chairman now? Whether it is a local government election or the presidential election.
So for that particular, the election is election. Was it the other chairman that wrote that particular?
No. See, let me say
somebody, are you aware that we had other party agents who actually saw that particular?
We don't care.
Result?
See, let me tell you something. That is why we are asking for electronic transmission of results. Okay. Wait, excuse me. Wait.
We have to go.
Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Why? That's why people are clamoring for electronic transmission of results. Okay. You don't need to have a party agent there for election to be transmitted. The moment you vote, it's already transmitted. I don't need approval from any party. I don't need anybody to sign it. The machine sent the result immediately. So
we
now,
don't have all of that.
But you now said no because you now legalize glitches. You said there must be glitches. So when these glitches eventually happen, so even if INEC did not, if there is no glitch, they will question INEC that why you want to tell me there are no glitches? It's a lie. This perfect election is not right.
Okay, so Mr. Lawal, let us actually come back home and wrap up the conversation. This was how I wanted the show to be, for us to take all of the news stories, not having just one direction. But let's come to the breaking of fast speech by the president. Of course, it's not new in the nation that whenever there is a Ramadan season, or of course, whenever there is fasting, and the president is actually Muslim, he breaks fast with, the governors and, top officials in the country. And if it is the vice president that is the Muslim, of course, he would also do that same thing as governors in states. So we don't have issues with calling, about 20 governors and 2, deputy governors.
And even made an idol. You can be an idol worshiper. You go during their own time.
Regardless,
even if you are a president.
we respect everybody's
religion. Even if you are not doing anything.
The president actually made so many people raise, their eyebrows when he said that we're out of the woods. And my question, if we're out of the woods, why is inflation still choking us? If we're out of the woods, why are we still struggling with our health sector? If we're out of the woods, we are still borrowing, yet debt is almost finishing this nation. If truly we're out of the woods, why are food prices not finally reduced? Because everybody's always saying, oh, rice has dropped to the final point. And sincerely, I must ask the question, if you are saying rice has dropped to final point, how much we precise and which of the rice? It's just a question. If truly we're out of the woods, fuel price is still there. When we're thinking to still drop more, it came back to, to a particular position. So I don't know which of the woods, and I might be wrong. So I'd like to ask you, as regards to the president's statement, if you want to really take an assessment and, of course, look into that particular statement of saying the dark days of tunnel of uncertainty are over. I'd like to give clarity and, of course, what is your take as regards to the president's speech?
Maybe the president is trying to tell us that the fasting of that day is over.
No, he said
sure
the economy is improving. No, not the fasting.
Maybe the economy of that fasting for that day, maybe the food has already been served. The food is already there for them to share that day for the people. That's why he said, because I don't think he's talking about the nation. Let's face it, but I don't think he's talking about the nation.
They said the reforms are yielding results.
And that's what I'm saying. Maybe the reform they made for that, breaking of fasting for that day. Maybe that's what he's talking about. I don't think he's talking about Nigeria.
He was talking about Nigeria.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because if he's talking about Nigeria, then totally is out of point to me. Because it's totally out of point.
So are you saying the reforms are not yielding results? What are you saying?
Where's the reform now? When you are reforming something, there is a reform, there is refurbish. I don't know, maybe it's refurbish. Now, this thing is this. I told you how we started in 1960. When our money was greater than the dollar.
Well, all of things have really evolved.
Wait, don't say things like, see, let me tell you something. If you don't know where you are coming from, you can't know where you are going because you must have a target. That's what they call reform. You want to reform it. That means it's not working. You want to reform it. Now, if you look at the trend up to now, as of this point, it has even got so worse that it's extremely difficult to come back to that point. You can see we've been within these 3 years of this administration, we've been revolving around a certain point. Despite the fact that there's more money, more borrowing, even now that there are not even many, the budgets are not being completed in some years. We saw corruption being, monies lost in the ministry under the watch of the government being written off as a debt. We saw
NNPC, of course, they also wrote their off, and of course
they wrote it off.
Yeah.
A budget in which it can take care of half of the budget of the state in Nigeria is written off for a ministry that did not remit the money. There's no accountability. There's no fight for corruption fight. So where exactly, if you talk about food, now I keep warning, this rice you are talking about, let's talk about our staple food. How much do you buy yam now? Because that's our staple food. You can plant everywhere. You can't plant rice everywhere, but you can plant yam everywhere here. You can even plant it in your flower bed here outside in your company here. But how much is a tuber of yam? How much is a pint of gari? How much is pepper or tomatoes? Let's talk about our staple food and see whether they are growing. I mean, the price is dropping.
All right.
Let's talk about insecurity.
Okay.
Even as of this fasting period, we still see these terrorists still working normally.
Okay, Mr. Lawa, because we're
states.
pressed for time and we have to go now. So I'd like to give clarity on some things. You know, we don't just come here to call the government out. Of course, we prefer solutions. So I would like to ask you, in just 1 minute, what do you think, should be the processes, or what do you think the government should, do and to look into so we can actually get a better economy?
One, don't make your government a party government. Look for experts and technocrats to put into the government to do the job. Stop making the government a party thing. It's not a partisan thing. It's for everybody, whether they vote for you, they don't vote, or no, people don't even care. The government is for all of them. Stop making it a party thing. That's one of the things that is ruining this government. A party thing. It's our party that is in government. So our party must be the one controlling the government. That is the major problem that we have with the government. Second, go to resource control. Go to resource control. Each state should control its resources and the federal collect percentage from them. Everybody will sit tight. Everybody will sit right. Everybody will encourage people to come to their states. All this, where you see bandits, the banditry will all this terrorism will disappear. Because you know that if people run away from your state, who is going to pay tax? Who is going to work for the state? So you be on your toes. So we should go to resource control. And then when you go to resource, that is autonomy, state autonomy, control their resources, having their state policing and state police, then the federal should oversee. Focus more on what you can do for us internationally, not locally. The president's duty is not majorly locally. Without the president, the government will work. Without the governor, the government will, because what they have ministries. What they need is just budget to run the government. So the president should focus more on what the advantage we can gain from the other countries outside. Your international policy is what the government should focus on, so that you can see how you can make outside more favorable for Nigerians, for more money, for resources to come into this country. Okay. You see how they deport us? Every now and then, the Nigerians are deported. Okay. Even in Turkey, I heard they are deporting us again.
All right, Mr. Lawa, thank you so much. I think I would actually have to go on recess. This particular conversation has been adjourned to tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll be accommodated to actually talk about this particular one. This is how far we can actually go on the show this wonderful evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawa, for being part of the program. We actually missed you last week. All right, coming up next, if you love the world of sport, I'd like to stay put. Coming up next is Locker Room. Yes, and don't give up because it is not over. Tough time doesn't last, but tough do last. Whatsoever you face will soon be over, and you will definitely smile again. My name remains Xavier Udo. Have a good evening. Rest.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Welcome to the Locker Room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Appeon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the Locker Room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes please discuss.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV.
We break the biggest stories. From missing funds to policy failures, we ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.